Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey everybody, it's Monday, Militia Man here, and I'm going to bring you an interesting thing that we've done. It's a little bit different. We have an interview with Angel One. He is a financial background person, international finance, international banking. He's been around the dinar land and with me silently, if you will, for the last few years. He suggests it was 7 to 8, but I said, wow, time flies, but let's see how that goes too. But hey, we're going to just give you an audio, and you guys take a listen. I think you're going to find that what we're talking about is a period of time over the last 7-8 days, real close, of ongoing events. I think it's spelled out pretty well, and please take a listen. Hey, good afternoon, Militia Man here. I want to get with you guys and let you know that I have Angel One. He is a friend of mine. He is a silent crew member, but he's not so silent, if you want to know the truth. But anyway, he has a background that is in banking and international finance. So his experience is with World Bank, IMF, the rules of the road. And so he and I, over the years, have come to know one another and to be able to bounce things off each other back and forth. And it's really powerful because a lot of that stuff that you guys see me talk about inside our chat forums and some of the in my writings on the forum, you'll know that some of that information comes from him because of his thinking, bright as it is. So over the last 7 days, I think we've had quite a bit of stuff going on, and I'm going to ask Angel One if he wants to recap the last 7 days. So say hello, everybody, to Angel One, to Militia Man and Crew.
Family, good to be able to chat with you guys, though Militia Man and I talk about you guys often, pretty much every day. Thank you, of course, for the opportunity. As you know, Militia Man, I am usually a guy who prefers to be in the background, not known, not spoken about, not talked about. But as we round third base here on an investment, I just thought, hey, this might be a good time to be able to talk to the family a little bit about what's been going on these past 7 days. But let me also let the family know how proud I am of you, your commitment to them, your commitment to this investment, your heart and the authenticity that you really do want to see the people do well in this investment. And that is exactly why you and I have been so close these last 7-8 years, and it's been great. So it's an honor to be a part of this. Don't get used to it, but I thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're surely welcome. Thank you very much. And if it's already been 7 or 8 years, oh man, does time fly when you're having fun. It is.
I think it has.
It is amazing. That's just, I think, mind blown just now. 7 years. Wow, 8. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much. It's glad to be here, and it is all about the people. You and I both know that that's what drove us, is to be helpers, to be givers, and we share our time and our family time sometimes, and all of our mental strength, if you will, at times. Sometimes we're carrying 2 jobs, and sometimes that's 3 jobs. But in this case, we're going to push forward. So so if you have a few minutes and you want to talk about those last 7 days and give us a little update, that would be fantastic. I'll let you take over for a minute.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it. Actually, good. I want to go back 8. I want to go back 8
days.
Inside of Iraq. Last Sunday, they had made an announcement publicly that from the CBI that they were going to go dark, meaning all electronic transactions were going to be stopped.
Yep.
Now, they announced that on Sunday with the expectation of starting and implementing Monday and Tuesday. Now, that's very important. It's a 2-day process to go dark, because their goal was to zero out the market. Everything had to settle. So in other words, when you do an electronic transaction, sometimes it takes a day to settle or 2 days to settle. So if you're ever on your online banking and it says pending, it hasn't settled yet. It's literally when it posts to your account, that's when it has settled. So they needed 2 days so that there's nothing floating out there electronically. So their plan was, hey, let's do this Monday and Tuesday, go dark, and Wednesday, let's go ahead and do the budget, do the third reading of the budget. So that's what their week had looked like. Now, you and I both know that they weren't done with the budget on Sunday, and they weren't done with the budget on Monday. So they pushed going dark on the electronic side. So what we saw was them then push the budget, which brings us to Tuesday. Now, Tuesday was a massive day. Late Monday night here, Tuesday, we saw them de-peg from the U.S. dollar. You and I had lengthy conversation about this.
Yes.
But, you know this. You know this well. I was not expecting our rate, our I rate, reinstatement rate plus inflation inside of that budget. I wasn't even expecting a 1-to-1 rate inside of that budget. I wasn't expecting them to drop the 3 zeros inside of the budget. What I was hopeful for was that they would de-peg from the U.S. dollar. Now, once they de-peg from the U.S. dollar, on that Tuesday, they are now officially sovereign because they are no longer pegged to the U.S. dollar. Now, to me, and you know this, to me, I was celebrating. That was just as good as seeing a 1-to-1 rate, because you and I both know that inside of the budget, the 3-year budget, I might add, they have the ability to change the exchange rate at a moment's notice, as well as adjust markets inside of the budget. I was never ever expecting, but what I was really hopeful for, and what my intel had told me, was that we need to de-peg from the U.S. dollar before the third reading of the budget. So we saw that on Tuesday. You and I talked at length about it. And what immediately happened? We saw our president come on out and sign Executive Order 13303, as well as multiple other executive orders. Now, I know some people were talking about how it was a bad thing that he did that and try to block it. I have a little bit different opinion on it, and I'm going to tell you why. Yes, this is it's 100% relates to Iraq's economy, their wealth, their incomes. It protects Iraq's assets and wealth. Now, of course, 13303 gives us, you and I, the ability to be able to legally hold IQD. But what I was really happy with in this decision is that it gave legal immunity to the Development Fund of Iraq. So literally, what he did by signing this is he still kept immunity to everything that is important to you and I regarding our investment. I'm going to give you an example. In that DFI fund, which is the Development Fund of Iraq, what's inside of that DFI is this: the revenues of oil products, financial assets, other properties held by the central bank of Iraq in the U.S. It also covers all petroleum products and their interest, revenues, liabilities, financial instruments. It covers the wheat market. It covers a bunch of things that we need covered. So it does the electricity program, the oil infrastructure programs, the equipment for Iraqi security forces, for the civil service salaries, ministry budget operations. Look, I can go on and on, but the point is this: we need security and stability, which we have in Iraq, but this guarantees it. We don't want this going in the wrong hands. So once we saw them depeg, we saw the president sign these executive orders, and then what do you know? We also heard on Tuesday night that the UN is going to have a 911 session regarding Iraq, which we saw on Thursday.
Which went
Let's fast forward.
Yep, that went really well too, by the way. That's my recollection.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
And you and I spoke at length about that.
Yeah.
You had told me that when you first got in this investment, you heard some key words that needed to be said, which were
national reconciliation and or global reconciliation. So both of them we pretty much covered
at length.
Yes.
In the UN meetings, which I think is fantastic. Now let's fast forward to Thursday.
Okay.
By the way, Wednesday, we all know this, the budget did not get done. But when I tell you they're working around the clock to get this thing done, I mean it. They're going to regions, they're going line by line, getting this done, not just number wise, but also text wise as well. There's heavy emphasis on the paragraphs right now, which takes time. It just takes time to do that. Here's some more great news. By the way, nothing but great news here.
No.
I have nothing but great things to say.
Sure.
Thursday, they went dark.
Gotcha.
Thursday, the CBI implemented all electronic transactions. And so you couldn't buy anything online. You couldn't buy anything with your debit card, with your credit card, with your bank ACH. You couldn't do anything. Now, again, they needed to zero out the market. That took place Thursday and Friday. The temperature inside of Iraq was nervous. People were excited but nervous because they know the progress that is taking place. And for the CBI to shut down all electronic transactions was serious business for the people. Now, they still could do cash transactions, but I'm telling you, my report from inside is nobody was spending dinars. Nobody was. Because there was a hope that this weekend they would see the budget on Saturday, and then shortly thereafter they would have a rate. But listen, that didn't happen. It didn't happen because the budget's not done yet. Am I worried? Am I concerned? Absolutely not, because I can tell you they are working round the clock on getting this budget complete.
Fantastic. Good stuff. And what's your opinion on the HCL part of it?
Oh, HCL. In my opinion, the HCL is done. It's been done. The HCL is not our holdup. What's really been our holdup is different oil agreements between Baghdad and Erbil. Most recently, and you and I have talked about this at length, is the deal between Erbil and Turkey.
And Turkey, yeah.
Yeah, and they had to go to courts. They had to because they could not handle it. So they needed to go the legal route, which they did, okay, and it got handled. But see, Iraq did not want money from that agreement. What they wanted were barrels of oil, and they now are getting from this the leftovers of that agreement, which is 400,000 barrels of oil a day. Now, they would rather have that oil than dinars. And the reason why is because the oil that comes from that region in Kurdistan is some of the most sweetest, precious oil on the face of the earth. And Baghdad has some pretty special alliances
I understand.
and partners who want the sweetest oil in the land. And they want to put that to very powerful and very good use, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. Yeah, awesome stuff. Is there anything else? Are we up to where we are today?
I think we're pretty much here now. Okay. I will tell you this: when I say we're rounding third base, I really do. We have not passed my target date yet, so I'm very confident. It looks like the date that the UST and the US, along with the feds, has given Iraq, it's still in play. I know that they are working, again, tirelessly to get this done. Soudani is the perfect guy for this. You see him, as I mentioned to you before, the guy takes 6 meetings a day.
Yeah, he's
6 meetings a day.
Yeah, he is a worker bee, that's for darn sure.
He absolutely is. I mean, he really is, but he is getting things done. He's putting into law some things that you would not put into law if you still wanted to continue with the fraud that takes place there. And so he's making things illegal that should have been illegal 25 years ago. And he is not putting up with anything. He is gaining the respect of the people. He is gaining the respect of countries surrounding him. He has brokered an incredible deal with Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely.
And yeah, he is bringing a peace and a prosperity to the Middle East, and is being looked upon. His work is being looked upon as something very, very special, and he really is rising as a phenomenal leader and slowly getting the respect from inside the country and outside of the country as well that he deserves.
You know, that's a good point, because that's where we started this conversation, was about doing the things that we do for the people, to keep everybody grounded, to keep people focused, stay with what we know, which is, you know, good supporting evidence and data that we get, gleaning from reports, gleaning from news articles, interviews. All of that stuff is part of this process, helping people. And it looks like Soudani has the not only the region, the global arena. When he was in Europe just not too many months ago, it showed that he was a leader, and his people in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, everywhere have been using him to bring that reconciliation to the forefront. And so indirectly and directly, he's helping the people, and that's phenomenal where we are today. So it should be an exciting week. We have some things to keep our eyes on, which I've been watching to see how this U.S. debt ceiling is taking place, and we'll watch and see how the budget for the 2022, 23, 24, and 25 gets to the table here shortly. We'll see how this goes this week. So it's really truly been a pleasure having you here, Angel One, and you're always welcome with Militia Man and crew anytime.
Thank you, buddy. And I do, to be clear, expect the budget to be done this week. There are no delays. Listen, a woman cannot have a baby in 9 days or 9 weeks. It's a process. This thing has to develop. So I am being told that this budget will be done this week, and I am expecting a rate after the budget, shortly thereafter. Very well. Good deal. Okay. Thank you so much, my friend, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the other side quickly. Thank you, buddy.
Alrighty. Hey, I hopefully everybody enjoyed the audio that we presented today. It's full of information. I think it's probably it's very supportive of where we are. This last 7 days has been amazing. Take a look at it in a context that this is about where we are. So hey, if you guys like it, you know, come see us here in the Patreon. We have that Discord room. It's wonderful. We'll be talking about this in more depth, so please join us. And if you like, subscribe, donate. Look forward to seeing you guys really soon.